you guys want to start with post-game remarks, just kind of open it up and we can start questions.
Yeah, I mean, obviously easier to say this when you're on the top end of this, but I thought just a great game. You know, I think they were very prepared for us. I thought the energy that VCU came out with, I thought the game plan that Beth and her staff did really had us on our heels, you know, and I just felt like we just weren't getting to the paint. Some of that was their physicality. Some of that was just, you know, us just kind of playing too far away from the basket. And I thought that changed a little bit. Kind of the beauty of having older kids is I don't think there was any panic. You know, I think we took a timeout 2 minutes before in the first quarter left and maybe settled a little bit there. But I thought just that second quarter timeout, it was like, yo man, like for whatever reason, but we seem to be here all the time against VCU. You know, we just get off to rough starts. But the positive to that was it was with a group that had been there before doing the same thing. And so I felt, as much as you're just saying that, I felt there was a lot of confidence coming back at me from the group. And that's just a really great thing to have. And then that second half, and you know, I felt good about things in that second half until maybe the end of the third quarter. You know, like I thought we had the ball, things were good. We had an untimely turnover. I know she didn't make the free throw, but you know, Sarah goes down for kind of an and one, and all of a sudden now you're chasing six. I thought Grace's play starting the quarter was huge for us. You know, that cut that thing to three right away, and then it was just a back and forth game. And, you know, just really proud of our kids, and I know Beth should be proud of her kids because that's a very, very good basketball team, and they're going to still make some noise. But just really incredibly proud of our players, the way they bounced back and resiliency tonight.
How much did the switch to the zone in that second period change this game?
It was everything, and probably me being stubborn to not do it earlier. I'm sure my assistants are all nodding their head right now as I say that out loud, probably our players too. I did feel like we could have guarded them, and again, I know Grace got put in timeout maybe early in that first quarter and just kind of had a little resting spot for her, and they took advantage of us defensively during that stretch. And then, you know, some of that's just sometimes you throw stuff against the wall, and didn't feel like the zone would be able to stay in it the whole time, or at least play that way. But I thought our kids really got some confidence, and there's never a positive to taking a deficit like that. Sometimes, you know, when that starts to dwindle a little bit, that can be hard. You know, playing from the perimeter at that spot. So the zone defense, I know it worked for us last time against them, and I thought that was a huge. I thought our players played really well in the zone today.
And Coach, just your thoughts. Obviously, the game was almost eerily similar to the matchup on January the 3rd. So just talk about like the perseverance of this team. Obviously, VCU having the early lead, and then you guys coming back and winning both games in almost the same fashion. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, I know this is a rivalry, but you know, I like those guys over there. I like the way they play. Love Beth, and so it's two tough losses for them. You know, I know that we've all been on the other side of that. It felt like they were in control probably into the fourth quarter on both of these games. But I also, you know, I don't think they lost the game. To our kids' credit, and I mean this completely respectfully, I just thought our players were like locked in. There just wasn't a panic. You know, some of the things that we weren't doing with the ball movement, cutting, you know, getting the free throw line, some of that things that we've done. You know, their defense was outstanding all night, but you know, I think we scored half our points in the fourth quarter. You know, to have 30 points against that defense in the fourth quarter. That's not going to happen against them, you know, probably ever again. So I thought, yes, it was resiliency, but I just thought we kind of got back to us and played some really good offense and got some timely stops in that fourth quarter.
Grace, as a local kid, does this matchup mean anything a little extra to you?
I think for sure, especially coming here freshman year, realizing what the environment is like when you play a crosstown rivalry like this. We take it very serious, but also VCU take this serious, so does Richmond. We took pride this year in playing them each time, and they gave us. It was a hard battle, but we came out on top, and I'm proud of us.
Coach, talk about Grace's performance tonight. 11 of 11 at the line, 6 of 13 from the field, team high 23 points. She was outstanding.
I mean, you said it. She was outstanding. You know, and I hate to. In no way do I take this for granted. It's just been incredibly, you know, if you want to talk, and I know senior night's coming, and probably don't even want to think about this, but over the course of 4 years, watching the development, and not just on the court, but just her leadership, just kind of, I've said this, and I mean this as a compliment, kind of her swag, and just her confidence level right now is like, even if she's making mistakes, it's like, I say it's hard to get mad at her, but like, I don't need to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those that like, you know, Coach, I got this, and it's yeah, we're good. You know, like she can give you a 5 or 6, maybe more than that. If in her mind, I know she's hard on herself. But there's a couple moments that's just like, yo, like, you know what she can do, and it was just got this, you know, and putting the ball in her hands there at the end. I mean, this was a lot of her just making plays today, and just not saying that she couldn't do this before, but just the growth and everything that she's done over the last 4 years. It's been a joy to coach, and like I said, in no way am I taking this for granted, but it's been really, really cool to watch her.
Talk about the impact for Budnick, Dugan, and Olstrom. Olstrom 15 over on the plus minus. Those three were huge.
Yeah, you know, I didn't think Katie played poorly, but by any stretch, it just kind of got to those that, you know, Rachel's length was kind of giving us some things, and you know, her on the boards, in addition to scoring and just being a threat. You know, I know she had a huge three in front of our bench in that fourth quarter when we had just given up a three. That was huge, but I just thought her ability to kind of allow gravity to come to her. You know, like there's just, you have to play a certain way with Rachel Olstrom on the court. You know, she's got such a quick release. Our players know how to find her. So even though she wasn't hitting, I thought she was opening up some things at the basket for Grace. You know, I thought we found some things for Budnick today. Like some of those were just, hey, we weren't making shots, and the ball found Addie, and it's like, oh, thank God, right? The ball's in her hand. She's gonna make a good decision. And for her today, you know, at least 4 of those times, it was her digging in some big time shots and huge moments for us tonight.
How important is Addie's communication at the center of that zone defensively? It seemed like she's gesturing and telling people where to be the whole night.
Man, I don't know if anything would make me cry more than talking about Addie Budnick's communication, because that kid, you know, her freshman year, that's all we were trying to get out of her. And, you know, to have a reporter, I can't wait to tell that, to talk, you know, that they were asking about Addie Budnick's communication, and that is literally, I'm gonna smile so I don't tear up, but, you know, it was her communication, but it's just like her patrolling the middle of that zone today was just like pinpoint all the things that as a coach you talk about. This is what happens in the NBA. This is what happens at the high levels. Like, you're supposed to talk. And I thought she just, you know, as we mentioned Grace, you know, just as a coach feeling comfortable and her being in control out there. Addie was fantastic. You know, she was pinpointing people there. In addition to her communication, I thought her defense, you know, she had a couple of blocks there at the end. I thought Faye came in and gave us some rim protection in there. I don't know what we had as a team, 9 blocks as a team. Like, that bothers you, man. You know, that bothers you at the basket. And I thought they were both really, really good with that tonight.
Any particular excitement, and does this season feel different with the women's basketball tournament coming up at the Henrico Sports and Events Center?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we've been looking forward to that. I think, you know, when we look at our schedule this year, you know, when that thing came out, it was like, are you kidding me? You know, it's like, you know, I felt like I think the top 8-9 teams that in the league, we were playing them all on the road. You know, not to mention the doubles that you get to play every year against VCU, and you knew they were going to be really good. The rest of the schedule I just thought was really, really tough. In the back of your mind, you're like, you can't complain too much, man. You get the tournament in your hometown. I know it's not on our home court, but in our hometown. You know, I know what they're doing here promotions-wise, and was at the men's game here the other night, and just the vibe about the women I thought was fantastic here. You know, the fact that I hope y'all do it, man. Sell that game out, that last game at the end of the season against George Mason, like. You know, just the fandom here in town on the men's side, with both men's teams having success and both women's team having success, the crowds that we've seen, you know, hopefully that shows up in Henrico. You know, it is a little bit of an advantage, but I just think it's been a cool atmosphere in Richmond for basketball this year, and hopefully that translates to Henrico in March.
Thank you guys so much.